I've had this problem all my life where I always need to act older than my age.
What exactly is the root of this whole cybercrime? People trying to blow up time. What do you think is like at the root?
So I think I have two ideologies. One might hit home where, even the prayer points we make lead to these big pays and all of that.
So we're having a conversation about how like people that went for IT, when they're going, their aim is that, I'm going to make money. So that when I come back, I'm going to oppress people.
I'm coming back to societal construct. Because even lecturers, there is going to be this form of respect if you, as a student, you have money.
Somebody can pick up the phone today, in the next 3 months, the person is already making money. So you don't want to go through the process of building anything. You just want to, if I pick up my phone today, I must grow.
I cannot forget my final exams in secondary school. When I was going there, I used to put my uniform in my bag. When I get close to school, that's when I would wear it. Why? Because I became a tutorial master. I'm teaching people that I teach C. I'm also writing YN. So for me to be humble, I have to look like
I'm ready to work.
Exactly. Even after I was done with school to university, I also had that offer because I can manipulate what you guys manipulate. But let's come to how people grow up suddenly, which is something that sometimes the economic situation of parents would push the children to grow up. It's something that should be emotional for people really. Some it even goes, it's even their parents will push them out, especially if it's a female gender, to even go into things they are not so proud of.
Hello, welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to the Alo-Fusion education channel. And my name is Bemi, and I'm here with my lovely husband, Timothy. He used to be the main host, but today I'm the one in charge. And he said he does not want to be a misogynist, so we thank him for that. So we appreciate it. Yeah, so if you are new to our channel, this is one of many channels. We have tons of channels spread across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever.
Just type Alo-Fusion.
Yeah, exactly. Just type Alo-Fusion and you'll see us. So we have, this is the education channel, we have health channel. So if you're interested in things like that, definitely check us out. We'll be tagged somewhere in the description. Yeah, so let's get to the topic at hand. So yeah, if this is your first time, welcome. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, comment, share. Yeah, but if you like, go ahead.
I think the best year I've gotten is no use this brain crossroad. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so today we'll be talking about an interesting conversation. I think it's interesting because it's kind of like a follow-up of what we've been talking about. So, but the last episode we spoke about should everybody be a content creator? And then previously we spoke about cyber crime, and things like that. Yeah. So, but now we're not thinking. Let's peel back the layer. Let's look at the core problem. What exactly is the root of this whole thing? Is it a pressure to become adults fast? So, what do you think is like the root of this whole hustle culture and the root of this whole cyber crime? People trying to blow up time. What do you think is like at the roots?
So I think I have two ideologies. One might hit home because it's going to be a religious outlook towards it.
Okay.
Where even the prayer points we make, the Lord should do this and do that. Lead to these big pays and all of that, and eventually it's good, but subtly it removed the idea of having to do hard work, and it made the focus more on just studying things. And again, there are miracles, no doubt. You've seen people who say, throughout my life, things are working well and all of that. So it's just that ideology that we want to hit it really quick, and I don't know how it's crept into our society. But it's not a big problem, and social media is even making it worse or worse, as they say, because you now have a lot of things to contend with in this time where you're having people like role models that you see, and then they're making a lot of money, and it looks like people don't value process anymore. That this is going to take time, and it will come. So that's the one. The second aspect also would be the culture of going back to those who make illicit money online. That also pushed the the conversation to a new extreme. Because as I said, the first time I had the opportunity to join them in that sense and start was...
But you did not join.
Yeah, I did not join. Oh, I mean, I could not be here. I would not be here if I did join then. It was just after secondary school, and I just, we're walking home, and then do this, and they said, "Oh, you're really smart. Let's introduce you to this." And even after I was done with school with university, I also had that offer because I can do graphics design, can manipulate what you guys manipulate. But to show you that I know it, so I think those two things, the aspect of where, and again, the last one is our culture generally.
Okay.
Maybe the third one is we celebrate money. And it's a very, very bad thing because, even in a household, for instance, let's look at America here. Again, sorry I'm making that relative, but, your parents might not over respect you in that sense if you can feed them. Because obviously, let's say there's, credit cards, there are other ways that people can, and that's why you can do without your child. But from where we come from, once it's going to take a very strict religious parent in Nigeria to if your child places you on salary, let's say 100, 150, let's even say 150k, then you might be tempted not to want to ask, but like whatever he's doing, God will put albarka on it. So that's where I think, in my opinion, and you might disagree, and please put it in the comments. I think those are the three societal constructs that brought about this wanting to hit it real fast.
Okay. Yes, I agree to an extent. So, but I think the major player, I would say, would be social media.
So, and we didn't talk about poverty. What about poverty?
Poverty has always been. So, and I don't think it's going to go away like in the blink of an eye. So, it's not a it plays a part, yes, but I would say it's still that social media pressure and also peer pressure. Like, let's not push away the fact that there's peer pressure, like away from aside social media. There's that peer pressure, like amongst your friends. I think was it? Or when I was having the conversation with Faith, a different episode, different channel. I'll tag that video once it's ready. So we're having a conversation about, since we went to the same school, OAU. And we're talking about how, like, people that went for IT, and when they're going, their aim is that, I'm going to make money. So that when I come back, I'm coming to oppress people. So when you have come back from your IT and you see your mates driving cars already, or like when we have our dinner, people are spraying dollars, and you're feeling unfulfilled, like, so what am I doing with my life?
Some of us will pick it.
And they spray you.
And people still look good. Chairman of vacation said, I didn't pick.
So I think it takes someone that has like values to say, okay, I'm not going to just do anything for the sake of money. So, but some people don't have that kind of core value to say, okay, this is the extent at which I will go. And like you mentioned, due process. Some people are unwilling to follow due process because of this same social media thing that somebody can pick up the phone today, in the next 3 months, the person is already making money.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is my own situation different now? What do I have to do to hit it big? So you don't want to go through the process of building anything. You just want to, okay, if I pick up my phone today, I must blow. Because somebody else has blown just like that. So why do you think, I think the question that I have now is, why do you think that students in school feel like they must have figured their life out right on campus?
So I think, coming back to societal construct, because even lecturers, there is going to be this form of respect if you, as a student, you have money. We have such an example, and that's why I'm a bit downplaying social media, because social media will be, let's say, recent, because as at when we were in school, social media was, but it wasn't as enticing as it is today in that sense.
Yeah, I think that's why I talked about peer pressure as well.
Yeah.
So, like I'm putting social because for some people the peer pressure comes from social media. So social media and peer pressure, I'm like putting them in the same category. Yeah. So like aside from social media, you don't even have to be. I don't think we're really that active on social media in school. Were we?
Yeah, but it was majorly, we had a goal, and I think we'll talk about this towards the end. of how you can train your kids to take pride in who they are. Like, and I think that's one of the things that helped us. Yes, we saw, people that were making money. We had, people that had money, but because, we're relatively doing fine in what we went to school to do, we had that pride that forget. The only thing that is blowing up too, because then you felt, okay, when I get the first class, all the oil companies will,
Exactly.
when we finished, and you're like, eh? So I think it's just the whole reward system, and that's one thing I think we'll have to redefine. Again, school is not a scam, but I think we have to, in our orientation of the younger generation, we must redefine what school will do to you and the reward system for going to school. We must confess that the previous reward system is dead. Like, companies don't care anymore. Yes, some companies you still get, again, you get leverage, but that might not be the best case. I think the new one now is that you do have to do your master's or PhD in a what's the word?
Foreign university.
Yeah, I want to use how we say it, in a developed country, and that's, I think that's one risk to reward that every bright student should be thinking about now, because it has given us given us the opportunity to just experience. But before we even get to the reward, I still think that we must come to terms with the fact that we must tell people that life is a process. You will have outliers.
Yes.
The same way, we have players. Somebody was arguing that for the last 15 to 20 years, Messi and Ronaldo, they've dominated the football scene. No matter how skillful you are praying that those two should just die. So they've become the outlier, and so in that case, if you now start to pressure your son, you must be the next Messi or Ronaldo, you're not given a real expectation. You understand? So outliers in the sense of, okay, maybe those who would even blow from this so-called fraud, everybody will not blow from it. And so if you don't teach the next generation something that is sustainable over time, and there's one aspect that we might talk about, is to even get menial skills. I still think that is a sustainable way to live. When you are not educated, I think you can make it
More
better,
refined.
or more refined, as you said. But we must just tell people that life is a process, and painfully, a process might not work out as you plan. It's a painful reality. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the conversation I want to shift to right now is when children are forced to grow up in their late teens and early 20s. Let's say late teens to 20. I think like average age, like coming from secondary school, would be like from maybe 15, 16 to 20. So that span, we see people being forced into forced into adulthood. So do you think it's kind of case specific, where, like, okay, for example, like the way I grew up is different from the way you grew up, and I think I've said it like a number of times in different videos that I was not forced to make there was no situation that had to put me that I had to make a living or make money right on campus. So there was no reason to.
All thanks to your parents.
Yeah, thanks to my parents. Like, that's why I said I was not in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
But for someone,
mine was, again, to be sincere.
Because it even got to a point. There was this MTN scholarship that I got shortlisted for. I was supposed to go for the exam. And I was telling my mom that, I wanted to go for this MTN scholarship, like my people are going and everything. And she was like, if you don't need money. What I was in Lagos. She was like, okay, where are you going to Lagos? Because I was like, how much is the money? Like, so I've shown my parents that they were able to see me through school. Like, I didn't have to worry about like finances. There was no time I was worried that what will happen next month? Will my school fees be paid? Will I be able to afford anything? So I think my situation is different. Now for people that had to fend for themselves, what do you say to that situation?
So I'll start from the MTN case. For me, it's still one of the greatest joke of all times, and I'm grateful that I have a polished mind to not hold it against anyone. And I think you also felt, I don't know, we're speaking then. I think everyone in my circle felt I knew and I didn't want to go. And sincerely, that was the time I turned off my phone. I was using this Touchline phone then. I just turned it off that I wanted to be serious. I don't want to read. I want to read and all of that. And I did not know.
Like you didn't know you got shortlisted out?
Like I didn't even know the program was. Yeah, I got shortlisted, but I didn't know the exam was that Saturday. It was the Monday the next week. I just saw people traveling back. I said, where am I going now? I know then I used to be at Jose. I'll just go to the room, go back to Jose. I said, when I go, they said, you didn't know. I said sincerely. And they felt I knew. Maybe I was going to secretly read. I was like, no, I did not know. And that was how I missed it. I mean, that money could have done a lot for me. But again, I'm also a privileged person because I got a lot of scholarship from people in my church and all of that. But let's come to how people grow up suddenly, which is something that it depends on your background, and sometimes the economic situation of parents would, push children to grow up. This is not something to, it's something that should be emotional for people, really. Some it even goes, it's even their parents will push them out, especially if it's the female gender, to even go into things they are not so proud of, and it's a very, very tricky one. But there's something around people who are accountable. Even in that situation, we've seen people, go through that type of life and then they've made something good for themselves. I was seeing a documentary of Vetar, and he went back to the house he was staying, and it was really touching for me. It was the roof. At some point, the landlord had to remove the roof because they're not paying for the rent, and the rain was beating them. And then, I think the landlord's son now took him in because he saw potential and all of that. So if you speak to such a person, and you would see how he had to grow up real fast. He's still a very relatively young person. He's not up to 30 football age though. I believe, But my point is that yes, it depends on different factors, where you were raised, opportunities. But again, for people like that, I tell them two things they can leverage on. They should not try to be like Victor Osimhen is, again, an outlier. You will not have a couple of, you can't even have 10 to 20 Victor Osimhen from that region where he came from, or that they call it like the poverty capital. I don't want to, in Lagos, I don't want to make it look like I'm talking about a region, but the AJ cities and places like that. But the point is that the large majority of people that will make it from that region usually is number one, academics. Many of the people I know, I can still remember someone, a good friend, we went to command together. The guy is doing well now just because he focused on his academics. That's one. Number two, again, your good hand job, like have something, a skill that will pay. And the beauty of those skills or any skill is that you just need to enroll. Okay, the third one will be, we should be sincere. But I'm just showing you those that, the outlier, not outliers, what majority of people have done to move them off from that supposed life. But to grow up easily, especially if you came from a middle class home, I think you should not put yourself on too much pressure to go into adulthood, because the problem would be, and I think I was telling her that I've had this problem all my life where I always need to act older than my age. Like, I cannot forget my final exams in secondary school. When I was going then, I used to put my uniform in my bag, in a nylon bag. And I would now have to, when I get close to school, that's when I'll wear it. Why? Because I became a tutorial master. And, I'm teaching secondary school students, just one, just two. And you don't, for them to give you the uncle status, they don't want to know that their uncle is, I'm teaching people that are writing GC, I'm also writing WAEC. So for me to be uncle, I have to, look like
I'm ready to work.
Exactly. And I also, anytime I'm passing my area, I'll wear this black trouser with belt and this thing. Then when I get to school, they say, Shotar, I say I've finished, and, because as at SS2, people were saying, oh, this is Tony. I'd be like, I did not repeat a class, guys. I'm always like that. You know, when you get home, engineering to me, it was your 4 year. Also, was school. Maybe again because maybe my face, I look much older. So it's just like that. But there will be people that you just need to step into adulthood because of the nature of the economy of your family. But I feel that you can take good use of opportunities. But there are some people that they just want to step into it for peer pressure. For
yes, because so why I mentioned like that case.
Yeah.
That the peculiar case of where you are forced into it not because of peer pressure, but because of the economic status of your family. Like I know some people that lost both parents, and then they had to maybe have younger ones to fend for. They had to step into that role of provider for the whole family.
And there's no social. So what do you call them here? When you lose your parents and you go to another household.
Oh, foster health care.
Yeah, is it foster? Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have things like that. So those children in those cases are forced to grow up, or maybe you got into school late and you already maybe have a family or you're about to start a family. So we have those cases.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like general consensus. Those of us that are just finished secondary school are coming into the university system, and because like even in school, you look around and you see everybody is saying something.
Yeah. Like their status.
Yeah, like now it's that I think WhatsApp was still a bit new.
Okay.
Like when we were in school, but so we're not really seeing like many WhatsApp vendors. It was like in hostels, so people would come like in the evenings, buy earrings, buy skirts.
What do you think is entrepreneurship?
It is for some people. Like I think every case is different. Like we've been saying, there are some people that do it because they just love buying and selling. Some of them come from families where maybe parents are traders and they just want to continue because it's just in their blood to sell things. Some have the business mindset. You did business in school, so it's not like you doing it because you just wanted to make money or like it was tricking you to.
I think because I also saw my mom too. You know, she had a lot of shops and all of that. So I saw business. I just like inflow of money. But yes, and also economy too it does not as juicy as.
Yeah. So we had, but now like some junior colleagues like those in from OAU, they be checking what our status. Everybody's selling clothes, everybody's selling shoes, everybody's selling wig. What's going on?
So in everything, I feel that to look at it holistically, if you're doing it and it's not going to affect your academics, then I think we should allow them. But
at least it's a better use of time than doing rubbish. So I concur with that.
But stepping into adulthood might not just be making money.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be exploring what adults do, as we say, you understand. So it's going to be multifaceted. It could also even be when you now speak how you regard others. Because you see someone in part 2, you feel that you cannot talk to a lecturer anyhow. So, it's just a very broad topic, but maybe let's narrow it down just to the economic side of things. That you don't need to, especially if you're doing it because of pressure or you just want to show off. I think, just stay in your lane.
So how will you actually advise someone? Because it's kind of easy for us to say, now looking back, but even though we still feel like a level of peer pressure or pressure in general, but what do you say to someone, maybe a first year student, I'm going to say freshman, a first year student, yes, so, second year student, and then he's looking around and seeing all his classmates doing things, even when we were in school, we had classmates that were doing freelancing, like right from part 1 or part 2. You and Donald were taking tutorials, and then I'm not be feeling like what am I doing with my life? But at the same time, again, because I was not under any obligation and I did not pressure myself to I was not trying to wear the latest clothes. I was not trying to do whatever. It was just I'm here to study and focusing on my books. That was all it was like in school. So I was not really looking for like extra money just for the sake of doing what's I using money for? Apart from eating. So, 100 level students, like what will you say to them? Like when they look around and they see their mates making money right on campus and they feel left out, what do you say to people like that?
So in your first year, if I'm being sincere, I will tell you 80% of your time, especially in any academic, no, let me not restrict it to academics. In anything you're doing, the first year should be more of accepting yourself into the art. So I don't believe your first year should be business oriented, because I know there are miracles. We've had good testimonies in different fellowships on campus, but if in your first year you start with a CGPA that's less than 4.0 or less than 3.0, the probability that you do well, again, you will have outliers, so don't quote me, but for the large majority of people, the probability that you will do well would be very slim.
Yeah.
So I think that's the time, especially your first year, don't let the noise come to you. I think another noise that came to us was Forex too. It became a thing too on campus. I swallow it. But Forex and all those, easy ways to make money. And for me, it never, until close to my final year, that's when I had interest in it. But the point is, because, see, no matter how you want to put it, some people sent you to school. Somebody is paying, or let's say you are paying for it, whichever way. So you have that duty to at least make those who are paying for you, at least make them proud to some extent. And if your first year you get into school and then it's how to start a business, then you could have just told them, don't send me to school. Let me just start a business. So if you know that's what you want to do, I would advise that in your first year, please. Or you can even use it as a time to build a rapport around those who are doing that same business. Let's say you want to start a business selling bread and egg at night in OAU. It's a very good business. Yes, you can look around and say, okay, what's this person doing? Maybe when you're going to read in the night, spend like 30 minutes just looking at what's happening and just your market survey. It's not that time that you should not be running to this thing to go and buy 3 bags of bread, and then it's going to mess up your academic foundation. So if I were to advise someone, again, from a place, even whether it's my enemy or my friend, from a place of love, I'll tell you, this is not the time to do it. Would you have people that will start business and flourish? Again, a very small majority of people, but I can bet it that if you check the data pool, you won't do so well if you're starting. I mean, except for people like you that went to Ivy League schools. No, your school is one of the best in Ibadan. No, their school. She's the only person I know that will sleep in the room, be reading, and get good grade. We will carry back and sweet it in the camera.
You know what? Like one time, I was in the library. I think it was in my final year, or maybe fourth year. And then I was lying down on the chair, on the bench in the library, departmental library, and I was sleeping. So I was like, I don't want to person there. I know the person. We were like, I've never seen you reach. yeah, it's the osmosis there, is it?
Yeah, I mean, so she's always lying down to read, but for some of us, we know that.
No, the thing that like in class, me and the lecturer, we are facing each other like this.
So as you said about that person, for me in class, I'm technically booting. Booting in the sense that if you say F is equals to MA, I'm still trying to understand what the MA is. Then you just say maybe you now put subscript 1,2. maybe now, because maybe I'm more advanced now, I know maybe you meant A. Let's say you're resolving into X and Y direction, AX, AY. And then, but when you say maybe X comma Y, I'm like, where did X comma Y come from? At that point, if the lecturer say everything the lecturer is saying after that time, I'm gone. So that's why many times when I'm in class, once I'm gone like that, I just carry I think I was using Infinix Note 3 then. I'll just be pressing phone, then I'll go and study later. But yeah, I think you had that gift that you can, everything that's been said, you
it's not gift, it's what my mommy my mommy told me. Because my mom used to say that, like, even when she was in school, like, she was always front row. Like, her and the lecturer, their eyes are going, what you watch hearing? Like, they're looking at each other. So, like, every word that comes out of the lecturer, but that's why even when I'm reading, like, personally, I'm not reading my notes. I'm not reading my notes, yes, but I'm reading what the lecturer said in class. So I'm reading to remember. So I would, even when I'm at an exam, I know what I'm seeing in the book. Like I'm looking at my book like this, and I'm also hearing what the lecturer is saying. So because me and lecturer, like, I concentrate so much in class, that's why I don't really. I read, yes, but I feel like I don't have to read as much.
That's why I used to
Yeah.
best for me back if I want to miss a class. Me, I know that I'm not going to learn it. Let me just miss the class, get a good note, get YouTube, and
No, if I'm not the one writing it with my hand, I feel like I've not understood it. Like, so, but that it's just different.
Yeah.
And at least he had a better grade than me, so maybe listen to him.
no, it's really nothing. So the whole point now eventually is you have to know yourself. If you are that bright student and can combine it really fast, I think you should go for it. But I would still advise anybody, my family member, even my enemy, that your first year, please give your best.
Yeah, I think that's what also helped us. You know, our first year we had were you 5 point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had like 5.0 our first year.
No, my first semester I had I think 4.6 or something.
But it was at least
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Starting with a 4.6, your morale is high already. Like,
Yes.
You already feel like you're in first class.
Exactly.
product, so
But if you started with like a 2.9, like you'd be like,
if you start, I still say it with all sense of humility, for a 5-year course, if you start anything above a 4 points in your first semester, the probability that you finish the first class is very high. If you don't drop the frequency. Because I started like that. My second year was when I lost my dad. That was my lowest. I got 3.9 something that semester. That was like my lowest. So, but again,
yeah, I think also that was first year, second semester.
First year, second semester.
Yeah, I
That's
think
crazy.
same. I think I had 3 points.
Yeah,
So the difference is because of boy. Wow. Not him actually.
Lord help us. So yeah, but eventually that beginning actually would matter a lot. So in your second year, again, second year is always tough, very tough, because I think that will be the highest number of courses you take, second and third year. But your second year too. But at that time, you should have a reading like
Culture.
a culture. You have a set of people. You should begin to figure things out. You'll still be floating, but at least you should begin to. But in your third year, then, if you're doing a 5-year course, your third year should be when you should start. You can start the business. You can your first year, at the break between your first and second year, you should use that again to seemingly look around, have relationships, see what to thrive and all of that, so that your second year break to third year, you can kickstart something on campus.
So I have a question, and that's a very crucial question. So we know at the beginning of this episode we spoke about or like you mentioned the fact that the economy now has shifted from just graduate to the first class and then the guaranteed job. But because people are being aware that job is not guaranteed, that's why they are trying to branch out into other things while on campus. Like these are an opportunity, like they are being sent to school. So this is the time to diversify and do things because it's not really guaranteed once you leave campus. So what do you say for people that they are not in the school discount category, but at the same time they are like
juggling it together?
Yes, school is not scam, but at the same time outside work is also not.
It's not sure.
Yes.
So for people like that, again, still the same playbook. Me, I will still tell them their first 2 years focus on school as if it's your all. First of all, there's one other thing that school and learning in school do to you. It opens up your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say that if I can study engineering, there's nothing I can't study. So maybe JET was this popular tough course or JET something. Is it rocket science? Maybe rocket science is the toughest in that sense. But I don't think there's anything I can't study. Why? Because my brain is open. I know how to do personal research.
Mm-hmm.
Research on, okay, let's say, and I see this a lot. It's I think one day we'll talk about it. I'll have to write it down. Where you want to start something, and the first person you're coming to meet is someone else. In this time and age, if you want to start any skill, I believe that you should not consult anyone yet. First, go online. Just type it. At least get some keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So let me use Forex. I see people in my DM, Baba, I want to learn Forex, so put me through. Fine. I would appreciate your question if you said, I put in a trade on MetaTrader 4 with a what's this? So there's an account, I forgot it, dummy account. So that's what it is literally. There's a technical name for it. But you just write it out. I put in a trade with a dummy account and I made 1,000 on a $100,000 account. Once I see that, come, let's talk. I've seen that you've done something. But hey, Baba, I won't learn no. And so what app are you going to use? Hey, is there an app? I will never reply you again. So, that's what engineering should teach you. Many times, as I said, maybe a course pumping, heat pump, and the cycle, refrigeration cycle. That I know that's the topic. And I think our country, we do topic and subtopics. We're not like here where the person finishes for that topic, you just start discussing something. But this refrigeration cycle. So when the lecturer has said what he wants to say, and you slept through the class, you know that when you go back, now ChatGPT is now available, so you have a lot. But those days it's just YouTube refrigeration cycle. You just watch a video. So once you're done with the video, then you come back to the lecturer's note and you're copying it to say, oh, this is what he meant by point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. Now don't take that as a waste of time. So when you want to, let's say you want to start baking on campus and you want to know, okay, what do they do at night? What is this? You can even just check. I don't know. Or you can ask somebody. You now have that understanding to find information. But when you play through school, it shows after school. It's only a few people that would say, okay, this is my life now. Let me take it seriously. And then they will not do well. And I think that's where, they say if you have good grades in school, it might limit your opportunity to learn because, you feel you are too brilliant. But I feel it's the other way around. If I have good grades in school, I think it should make me say, okay, I can learn graphics design. Okay, I can learn, what else?
Photography.
No. She's setting me. But that's how I view life. I just feel that because I have done this before, I can do this. I know some people can take it as because I did well in school, I'm above this. That's a very annoying mindset. So that's just the way I think you should view it. See, the earth is large. There's this adage in Yoruba that there will be no time you wear clothes and you will not see floor to rub it on. That's just a literal way to express it. But it shows that do what you are doing best. There will be a time that will come. I know we have short lives. Obviously, nobody knows the end. But, just put it that, okay, in my third year, I'm going to do this. But for now, let me focus on academics. It's not that when you're now doing that, all the Premier League matches, again, I have people that watch matches and are good. But my point is that you should know yourself. And eventually, you should plan with yourself. So if you're going to start a business in year 3, then maybe in year 1 or year 2, your leisure time, you use it to just learn about it. I thought the first business I started, which was that local business, it was during exam period when we are bored reading. Me and Donald, we just go outside. We'll now be looking into the sky that what is something we can do on campus. So he now started doing the coding, eventually started teaching coding. I think he made a lot of money self-teaching there and stuff like that. So, but it's just that. But imagine all our free time, we probably at the field at Awu, we're just playing football. Thank you. At Anglo-Mos, scouting for the hottest babes in town. There will be no way you will have that focus to do something else and eventually to affect your academics. So, if you ask me, I'll still say start your research early so that you will know what you will do later on. Yeah.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying is build capacity.
Yes.
While you're on campus, rather than focusing on just making money.
Yes.
Because the capacity that you built on campus, aside from like your core academics, will also be useful like once you leave campus. Like the money that you even make with that capacity you built on campus will even be more than your imagination.
Yeah.
But once you limit it to the 2K, 3K that is coming in, you'll be like, oh, yeah, paying out all the money, then that's why you're not be saving to maybe you want to save to buy a car, you want to save to live off campus.
Oh, you save to buy a car, 2K. And one thing again that people underrate on campus is you're a king on campus. So from a normal Nigerian home, at home, your mom can call you when you're doing a research or you're learning something or you're watching something, and she just calls you. You won't, I'm a respectful son. You will not say, Mom, But on campus, you now have all your time. You, even not that you're waking up for a class, you can sleep the whole day. So is that point you say, okay, so 7 to 9, if I'm not going to be in fellowship or at the mosque and do things, okay, I want to use this time for this. Not until maybe your third year that maybe lecturers will notice you, or if you're the class captain. But I think I know I had to maybe help out with lecturers at that my third, fourth, fifth year. Now maybe they now became my school parents. I could say, okay, where are you? Let's do this. You understand? But before that time, you can build capacity with, you have 24 hours, man. 24. Sometimes you get into, even in school, then you can be in a room argument 7 hours. I can't forget one, we're arguing on, I think it was on alcohol. And this guy in my room, Papa, they do okay. And we started 3 a.m. That day I saw I wasted time, I say, in my life. So yeah, you can build capacity, as you said. Yeah.
Okay. So what will you say, like, when it comes to like balancing your ambition, your passion, and also other things that comes with adulting, like faith, relationships. So what will you say, like for a student? I don't want to say what you advise, like when the person to get into relationship, because that is like case specific.
Yeah, very case specific.
Yes. So so what will you say, like balancing adulting? Because the truth is that while you're in school, you are not getting younger. So you are getting older and you are growing into an adult, like from your teenage years into your early 20s.
Yeah.
Is adulting. So you are an adult. So you're becoming an adult, even though you may or may not be making money like that. And more, like you said, money making is not just the only part of adulting. There's the emotional intelligence. There's the just being able to be independent, fending for yourselves, knowing how to look for information, like you mentioned, and knowing where to get information and the best way to, and also the capacity building, and also building yourself as a human being, knowing how to relate with people. I think that's one good thing OU has taught me personally, because I was like back on when I was in secondary school. I was the shy, reserved type. I'm still reserved, but I kind of know how to speak to people, like you know how to speak to people and everything. So all those skills, they call it like soft skills, are things that they will not teach you in class, but you learn it because you are socializing with other people right on campus and you're becoming an adult. So, but what do you say when it comes to like balancing life? Because even in school, you know how to live independently. Yeah, even though there are some things that are given to you, like aside from those maybe staying off campus that you pay for rent and everything, on campus you're not really paying the standard rent fee. So as it's on you can for sure. I don't know about other places. So but you learn, you cook by yourself, or you know where to find food and all those kind of things. So you are learning to be independent for life outside school.
Yeah.
So what will you say to a student that's trying to figure the whole thing out? Like how will you balance faith? Some people put going to church aside because they are focused on academics. Some people put relationship aside because they're focused on academics. And
I think
so
those
like
ones,
that balance.
maybe American students, those that
No, not like Nigerian students
they put away church aside.
because of book.
Oh yeah. I even have a very close example to me. So I think those people are not sincere, because even the person that I have close to me, person loves soccer. So you have things you like. You've just chosen not to do this. That's how I see life. I might be very direct. I still don't believe that you can't balance it. Obviously, you'll have times and seasons. So there will be times where your spiritual, let's use battery as 50. Let's use 50% of battery, and your spiritual battery will come low because you're in exam period. Obviously, once you're done, early in the semester, your spiritual battery should be high. I'm looking at balancing spiritual life and as campus. Obviously, if you want to be in a relationship, your relationship should be a helpful one. You should look for somebody that has the same drive like you. I don't think you should be in relationships where okay, you're telling your partner that you want to go and read, and the person is angry. Why are you angry? You should be happy because if the person is not doing well, it doesn't even speak well that my partner that is carrying the class, as we say in my culture. So, as pertaining to food, okay, maybe because my mom is a caterer, so I don't see food as anything. Even when cooking on campus, I cook and maybe I'm watching a YouTube video. I'm learning something eventually. So I don't think cooking should influence you negatively. What other things could influence you negatively? I don't know.
Extracurricular activities. Or the campus Owambe.
Campus Owambe.
Yeah, there are lots of events on campus.
Yeah, I know that we have events, and those events too, it's, again, I still believe that you can prioritize. Sometimes, yes, even me here, sometimes some of these hall, I think they do hall nights where they do party, sometimes, you just pass through, you want to just see. Obviously, I'm conservative, so you might say, God, I beg you, God have mercy. Even hearing the songs they are playing, I'm saying, Lord. But sometimes you pass there, you want to see it, but you just prioritize what you need to do. I don't think anybody, a sincere person, would not know that this is what they want to do. Many times we just lie to ourselves that it overwhelmed me. Deep down that you could have done all these things together. It's just that you should know the times and seasons. So obviously, if you are active in fellowship, please, sir, for the next 1 month, I will be coming up. But because then, you have to come, maybe, let's say you're in the media, you have to come in maybe 2 hours early to pass the gen, set up and everything. And the prayers of group, you have to be there to pray for the meeting before it starts and all of those things. So you can just let them know that, because of this, so they know that you are sincere, or you just want to get this together. Once you're done, you're back to whatever you're doing. So people who say, they turn this down, I think they maybe, again, orientation. I came from that orientation, but I twisted it, where they believe that you are going to school or nothing. I got to school, I said, and I know with that, I did other things I wanted to do, but you just have to prioritize. Then I think paying attention to details. So what I said earlier, like that, I don't listen in lecture rooms. I think I'm not too sincere with that, because if you remember, then I had this moment that checks my notes, and so I still had to, use pencil to draw. In my part 1, she was that meticulous. All our images, if anything you're drawing that is not writing, you have to draw with pencil, because she was going to check the notes. So, I was still that meticulous. I still had different pens. We used red pen for this, we're doing.
And remember, there's this shirt that you had, that you one white shirt.
Exactly.
Arranged different color
of pens. Like, I wanted my notes to be fascinating to me, and different things like that. So I still had time. Many times it's just that there's this, I'm tired. You get back to your room by 6. I'm tired, and then you just stay till the next morning. I think I'm doing that now as a PhD student, but then, no, when you get home by 6, you get something to eat. By 8 again, dragging yourself out. You'll be at maybe ODLT. We never used ODLT. We used to use maybe BOO the first, then maybe PGCLT. We just went that long. You sit down, you do cursive on your notes. Again, it's not like you read throughout. You actually play. Because I remember then I had this phone too. You begin to scroll. It's not like you read throughout, but the fact that you are seated, you can immediately say, make I stop this phone. You put it down. Maybe just write some notes. Try to look at some textbooks. Maybe you read for 20 minutes. But that 20 minutes reading will add up eventually. Then you just cross leg for your room. When you want to start to read, then your guy just bring you, babe, come. You say, how are you? Fresher. Hey, love is sweet. Love is sweet. So I think it's just to prioritize what you need to do and put systems in place. As you said, you must put systems in place. I need to be here at this time. This thing I'm saying, I need to apply it to myself now, because having to juggle many things together can be tasking. Sometimes it's allowed. You would go down on one to make one better. Another time you again push it down. Sometimes you can have a balance, but that balance will not last for long. I'm a living example. Sometimes one will now be so weak, then you say, okay, no. Let me reduce this one. Let me push the strength on this one. But eventually, people would love you for having the adequate balance. But to just throw one part of your life away because of this part, nah, I don't think it's good. Because, for instance, those who were not in relationships in school that they felt, oh, it's just school, no relationship. Many times you have conversation with them, say, oh, God help you. Now I can't define you. So sometimes it's eventually they might, and usually too, it's not like they were the best graduating students. So you not being in a relationship does not guarantee you be the best graduating student. And you being in a relationship does not mean you'll be the last in your class. I think Prince, when we had that episode, he said, that's how he said it. He said, no book, if they talk in a relationship, no make you succeed. So usually it's not your commitments. It's just look at priorities, look at different times. Mid-semester, when maybe there's a break or you have to go home or something, you know that if everybody don't carry bag, they go out, you know that me, I'm not going home. I need to use this time to cover up on some things. Oh, there's Nigeria, we have a lot of public holidays. There's public holidays for us. You will dress up as if you have a class. You go and sit down somewhere that you're writing a note or you're doing something. I think our Saturday mornings too. And I think we used to play on Saturday. I think it's Sunday afternoons after church that we'll go to a Greek. You're going to sit down. You're getting some things in. So you just know that, okay, because I am trying to build something on the side, I might not be able to play like every other person. I know that I have to give in more time to what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And like even now that we are more we are adults and we have more responsibilities,
we still need to do it.
Exactly. So we see that life life will not give you one thing and say, okay, just don't hold this one first and let's see how you're doing it. Like everything comes at the same time. So I think I was talking to a friend, this was here, and she was like, oh, and she doesn't think she wants to have a child now because of the PhD and everything. I said,
not talk the number, will you? Just
no. That's an example.
Inside joke.
Yeah. So she was not like, oh, she doesn't think that me that. So I think that I've not even had our child first. So I was not like, that the thing about life is that once you finish your PhD, you start working. How are you sure that working period is going to be easy for you? Like there's not going to be a time that it will be easy. I think that's what Pastor always says. So when it comes to like spiritual growth and doing ministry, like there's no time in your adult life that things are going to be easy. So you just have to figure out how to balance everything. So it's just how to strike that balance that we should be looking. Exactly, just keep juggling it. That there are some times that, because I think it was helpful because we were reading partners. So it was not like maybe I'll take somebody from a different department and for different that we could not like synergize. But what helped us was that synergy that okay, we could come together, we could study together, and we could help each other. In that sense, so our academics not suffer because of relationship. So
even different departments, let's say you should. You should know that okay, it's just that you will not see yourself often. There's no too much lovey. You see yourself and say, Choma, I have a reading group to attend to. And when you're back, you say, are you done? And yeah. See, you need to do well because life keeps moving actually. And there's something I learned on one guy's page and I want to apply it because it's forgotten the term. It's imperfect consistency. That's how he calls it. I'll try to get the phrase where you are trying to be consistent. When you fall off, as you fall off, maybe stay off, immediately come back up again. But if you fall off and just allow the curve to flat, that's death. Yeah, but even with human heart, sometimes so
yeah, I think that's a nice thing. Just talking about our podcast.
Yeah. So go on, go. Yeah.
So like even our podcast, like realistically, like we are not as consistent as but
as we'd love to.
Yeah, yes, but there was a lot of dry season. Yeah. That's not.
And there might be more.
Nothing was happening. Like other parts of life was just like taking more of our time and attention.
Yeah.
And then it's sitting like this where every other day we're like, oh, episode. And I'm giving you ideas. I say, well, let's shoot. In fact, we have like backlog of videos that our editor has not worked on. So there's more to come.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm thinking of even like using a school background. I think we have the means to do that now, so we'll explore that in coming episodes. So it's not like just a black studio background.
Yeah. Yeah. So in summary, what are your last words to a fresher or even like a final year student or somebody that is still striving to adult well while on campus?
So to go back to the whole discussion again, is don't do anything. Do things from a place of conviction. I'm somebody that, yes, let's not lie, it's you would have that peer pressure. Sometimes you might even start doing what the pressure has dictated. But again, always have that, sit back and say, why am I doing this? Is it worth it? You know, for instance, I can't deny the fact that I started Forex based on peer pressure. But the fact that I'm sitting it today, almost 6 years after, shows that I'm not responding just to peer pressure anymore. I've seen why. I now know why I am doing it. So is you have that beginning curve, but always ask yourself, is this something I can sustain for long? And then go for it. But can you do everything together? Yes. Do you have to become an adult so fast? No. You make mistakes. We've made mistakes. You actually make mistakes. But again, in that place, that should be a learning curve. The moment you now sit in your mistakes over and over again, then that's childhood. Because it's only children that will do that. So my parting was to just be stay consistent. Again, life will never get easier. You just need to keep on pushing, prioritize things at different times. And yeah, you should be fine. That's what we are doing too. And we're not there yet, but we'll get some.
Yeah, I think so. My own last words would be I'll say know where you're coming from. Campus will make it look as if we are all on the same level playing field, but it doesn't apply.
Talk about that again.
People come from different backgrounds.
No, back. We had people playing in my class then that today I look back and say, thank God I didn't join them to play. But they have a soft landing. We are not their papa. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say know where you're coming from. No, recognize the fact that people have different what's this word?
Opportunities?
Yeah, opportunities, and you really don't have the same level playing field. So recognize your own shortcomings. If you came from a good background or a well-to-do family, and you're in school and you have a focus or you want to make something else for yourself, yes, continue in that light, go for it. You make more opportunities, you may be better than your parents. And you come from a background where you know you're coming from. Maybe one Okoye where you're coming from. And then I get to school and you see somebody from a rich background playing and you feel like both of you are the same, maybe not my guy, and then let me join them and play. They will leave you when you go to school. So I'll just say, just know where you're coming from.
A good example of that was Ashake. I didn't know he was not a student in Ife.
He wasn't?
He wasn't.
Maybe.
He was just like all these boys that just came to school, attended lectures, very passionate, and that's where, he knows. Imagine, when, even when students are playing, he said, we give you separate, you understand? So you just have to, understand many things about where you're from, as you said.
Yes, so know where you're coming from and also have something you're working towards. So it's when you have a goal in mind that things begin to align. Even though it may look clumsy first, when you do something that doesn't align with your ultimate goal, you know when to drop it and you know what else to pick up along the way. So if your friends don't serve you, your friends are pushing you to a different direction, it's good to cut it off as soon as possible, because like I think I mentioned earlier in the episode that what made me I used to say fail my second semester was a relationship I had. So once I recognized that, I immediately cut it off because I know that if this thing follows me, it's not going to end well for me. So just recognize
the same rice.
Oh God. So just recognize where you're coming from and have something that's something you're working towards. Once you have a goal in mind, then you know your objectives, you know what you're supposed to do and what not to do. You know that when people are sleeping, you cannot sleep because you have something you're working on. When your mates are playing, or maybe when they go home for holiday and they are going to Ventura, they're going to ShopRite, you know you cannot go anywhere. you know you're supposed to stay back in campus and you're supposed to do some extra work. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. So it's been a long one, and sometimes it's very nice to go down memory lane to remember and the green pen and the blue and the red pen that we used to arrange in the pocket. So
I came to write an exam with green pen. The lecturer said, I think he said, is it the courthouse or something? Then I said, sir, I was doing, this teenager. I said, sir, is that green pen? He said, is it that you picked this pen for the exam? So I think I wrote it with blue pen. And stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just a funny person.
So thank you for joining us this episode again. We hope you've enjoyed and you've learned something from it. So if you have questions, if you have other things you need to let us know, you can drop it in the comment section. If you have a question to ask, if you have whatever you want to say, just say it. Like I said, if you say you don't like his cap or you don't like my shirt.
Also, on campus, don't spend time watching me also. Ensure you're either watching us when you're cooking so that we're not taking your time to we have to be sincere.
Yeah, sure. So I'll say bye.
Yep. Have a good
bye for now.
Stay blessed.